Welcome once again to that show, Bearded on Point on YouTube with Louis Maruwasa. And today's episode, I'm going to be talking about emotions. You know, when you get all teary-eyed and you start crying. I'm going to tell you something about emotions. They're such wonderful things, aren't they? Isn't it lovely when men engage in their emotions? No, 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 no. As a man, you must never, never in your life get emotional in front of your love interest, your girlfriend, your wife. Never. The reason is very simple. Emotional men are feminine men. A feminine man is obviously not masculine. Women want a masculine guy. I'm going to repeat that. Women want a masculine guy. It seems very obvious, doesn't it? The thing is, you got to look at a relationship as an interaction between two particles, the feminine and the masculine. The two of them come together like an atom to form a molecule, whatever it is, that is in perfect balance. When you have two equally charged particles of the same polarity, female and female, they don't come together too well. So you see, a woman doesn't want a feminine man. She wants a man. So, what is the problem with all this? Let's start off from the beginning. The thing is, I won't lie to you. I've done it before. Yes, pathetic. I've been guilty of this. Being emotional in front of my love interest. May God forgive me. So I've sulked like a big baby. I might have shed a tear once or twice. I might have let her get emotional and matched her emotionalness with my own. I have complained. I have been negative. I have been depressed. I have done everything to show that the challenges of the universe beat me down and leave me a carcass for the vultures. Yes, lying in the sun as vultures pass overhead. Yes, looking ready and ripe for an eye to be plucked out. The problem is, sulking in front of your love interest is not a good idea. Complaining, being unhappy, being negative is not a good idea because it all says you can't deal with reality. You can't deal with life. You're a wuss. You're a punk. Yes. You're not man enough to handle her. And you're not man enough to handle everything life throws at you. You are not the kind of man a woman wants to bet her life on. No, sir. She wants to bet her life on a man who's confident, who doesn't shed tears unless something completely drastic happens. She's never seen her own father cry, so why are you crying over things? Be a man. Right? This is because men are supposed to be logical, not emotional. The emotional is the role of the female. The logical is the role of the male. The male should not be emotional and not always all up in his feelings. He should be calm. He should be confident of his position as the man and of his position in life while pursuing his plans. The minute you become that kind of guy that is always sulking and crying and got something to complain about, you become the kind of man a woman does not want in her life. So if you're sulking right now, crying like a big baby over something, whether it's, for me, it was my business was just falling to pieces. And I just couldn't handle that. I just got pissed off, depressed, angry, sulky, negative. Yes, things were going wrong in my life. Yes, things were happening to me. But I could have handled them better. And you will definitely handle them better because you've watched this video and I've told you. I don't care if 90% of your business just blew up right now. Somebody just ate 80% of your cattle. Somebody just broke into your house and stole your favorite TV and all your books. It doesn't matter. You've got to stay calm, confident, and smiles. Don't let things get to you. Do not get emotional. Stay logical and seem like you can handle this. I can deal with this. It doesn't really matter. Especially if you're in front of your wife or in front of your girlfriend or love interest. Do not get emotional. To see this in practice, you should watch the movie Gotti. I won't lie, it's not a fun movie to watch. Even I found it a little bit too boring. But a good point I could tell you about it is Gotti never cried in front of his wife. When his son died at the hospital, when he got the news, he stood around the corner and got emotional there before getting himself together, manning up, going around the corner and taking it in stride in front of the family. And when later, in his own house, after his wife and everybody else had cried and gone to bed when he was sure nobody was around, that's when he broke down and cried. In a space where no woman could see him, especially his wife or his children, because they depend on him to be the anchor, the rock, the certainty in the family. So do not get emotional in front of your girlfriend. You're not a punk. You're not a wuss. You're a man. You can handle it. Don't let situations get to you. Because when you get emotional in front of a woman, you know what happens? She loses desire and interest and does not want to be feminine with you. Do you understand? Because coincidentally, not only are you less desirable and less interesting to a woman, you're also less fun to be around, less exciting, less attractive, and it takes far more energy to be around you than anybody else who is not in your state of sulkiness, babiness, and depression. Because the reality is, she's got to try to raise your spirits because you're down. And that takes energy from her to you. If you take that responsibility into yourself and say, I'll raise my own spirits. I won't sit here and complain and cry and be a little baby about it. I know what has happened is bad. I know that this is terrible, but I'm going to keep my composure. I'm not going to allow my love interest, my wife or my girlfriend or my lover, to see me in this state, because if they do, they will lose interest in me as a man because they'll feel I'm less masculine. So what does that mean, right? Once again, it's a prehistorical thing. It's in the subconscious part of a woman's mind. She might hold you and say, oh, my poor baby, but in her subconscious mind, she is thinking to herself, even if she doesn't know she's thinking about it, this is not a man. This is a wimp. And if it happens a lot, she will lose interest and lose desire. That's why you should not be emotional in front of her like that, right? You need to have the ability to be an all-season man, a consistency in your character. You should always be able to survive and take on any challenge without seeming to get depressed, without seeming to shed a tear, without seeming to become unstuck and unable to process what is happening. You should always appear to be happy, joyful, if not, at least calm and able to deal with whatever you're facing in your life, because she looks at that as evidence of your manliness. Because once again, back in the days when we were hunting animals out on the prairie, a man that could not handle his emotions did not come home. A man that was too cry baby was the one that got beat down in the cattle ranch, or what do you call it, the corral, whatever they did then. That's the man that got beat down. That's why when you go to jail, don't be the guy that cries, because it tells everybody you're weak and you are eligible for things you don't want to talk about in public and in polite society. But if you're tough, no matter what, people stay away from you. But you might be asking yourself, this channel is about dealing with men's issues, but we are human too, and that is true. We are human. I'm a man, but I'm a human being. You're a man, but you're a human being. So what should happen when the emotions are too much to deal with? When things are just too much? That business failure, I don't know why I just kicked the camera, but anyway, that business failure and whatever else is something you can handle. So how do you do it? What are you supposed to do? Privacy. Remember John Guy. What you should do is find a private space away from your lover, your wife, your girlfriend, where you can cry, where you can be emotional, angry, let all that emotion out, but not in front of your wife, not in front of your girlfriend, not in front of your lover. Get it out somewhere where they can't see you, in a space where it allows you to deal with what you're going through without being judged and without being found less desirable and less interested in by the opposite sex. So you need to do that in a space away from that. Like for instance, my example is this. You're coming home from a job you just got fired from. People said some nasty things to you and they fired you. And you're feeling emotional. You're really feeling emotional about it. Don't go home to your wife. Pull aside on the side of the road, cry it out, get the anger out, calm your spirit, and go home as a man that is calm, confident, and has a plan of what he's going to do next. If it's more severe than that, then I would suggest that you go for therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. Therapy is good for you. But please, I warn you, go to a good therapist. Some therapists are very good at allowing you to entrench yourself in the very negative frame that you should be trying to get out of, making you more depressed and convincing you to do the very things you should not be doing. So, I suggest you find a good therapist who understands men's psyche and female psyche. Otherwise, you might get some bad advice. But if not, you should maybe have some friends that you can be negative around, complain around, and cry around. But of course, you shouldn't do too much of that in front of friends either, because they lose design interest in you as well. Just like women would, because nobody wants to be around a crybaby who's always got problems and always seems to have nothing good happening in his life, and his life seems to have no future that's better. Everything is doom and is gloom. Nobody wants that for anybody, right? So ideally, that's why I say do it in private when nobody will ever know you shed some tears over your dog dying, or over the fact that something interesting happened in a movie that almost made you shed a tear. Just be like, oh man, damn it, what's going on here, man? Is there something in the popcorn? Because man, damn, what's going on? Do not let her know you are emotional. It's not good for you, right? And I advise you, when it comes to this subject matter, you're going to find women who will tell you, oh, it's okay to be emotional in front of me. They will tell you that. Whether it's your girlfriend, your wife, or other women will encourage you as a man to be emotional. I'm here to warn you, it is a test. Women will say things to you sometimes that are designed to see if you will break out in tears. It is a test. They're testing whether you really are a man or an emotional, feminine wuss. They are testing you. Never allow yourself to be put in a position where she says something and you break out in a tear. Even if it hurts you, stay calm. If maybe not smiling, just don't do anything. And when she leaves, then you can process it. But not while she's there. Because then she got to you. Then you became emotional. Then she managed to derail you from your manhood. And that is something you should never let any woman be able to do to you. And that starts from understanding the dangers to a man of being emotional in front of his love interest. Be emotional anywhere else, in front of your mother, in front of your auntie, in front of your brother. But do not do it in front of your wife. She will start to think this man cannot handle life and will not be able to protect, will not be able to provide, and will not be able to stay stable enough, strong enough for us to go through some things. And always remember this. She should be allowed to be emotional, but not you. Your job, when she cries, she can come to your house and start crying. Don't process what's going on with her from a point of view of engaging your emotions and crying with her. No, no, no. That's for her girlfriends. What you do is you hold her and you remain calm and you tell her, no matter what this is, no matter what's going on, no matter what we face, I am here. We will handle it. That is your role. Don't get emotional. It never ends well for a man to get emotional. Well, I hope that helps you if you're out there. It definitely helped me when I learned that lesson. It saves me from a lot of problems and allows me to always be a handsome, confident, fun guy. Until next time, do not forget, do more, be more, become more on your purpose.